तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने। कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनम् कलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरम् सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधव देवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 1st chapter. The conversation between Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. The Yamadutas are telling that the living entities are passing through various births, and in each of these births they are committing both dharma and adharma, sinful as well as pious activities. Because no living entity can perform pious activities always, no living entity can perform only sinful activities always. Being influenced by the three modes of material nature, sometimes they are performing good activities, sometimes they are performing bad activities, and thus they are undergoing suffering and happiness in this material world, even though they do not want to. They are not aware of what they have done in the past, but they are forced to enjoy or suffer whatever they have done in the past. Similarly, whatever they are doing now, they have to either enjoy or suffer in the next birth. In this manner, the living entities are constantly bound by their own karma. They have no escape because no living entity can stay without performing action. And performance of action means both sin and pious. So, they have to, means without any choice, the living entities have to suffer or enjoy. Yamaraj, who is an all-knower, he knows what is the past and what is going to be the future of everyone. But the living entity is forgetful of what they have done in the past. they commit the same mistakes repeatedly. Just like in the dream, one thinks that he is the body in the dream, forgetting his actual body. In a similar manner, the living entity, forgetting his previous birth, he identifies himself with his current body. We have changed our bodies several times. We have changed our house several times. But still, we are not understanding that there is no permanent house in this material world for us. None of these bodies are going to be a permanent place of our residence. Ultimately, we have to go to a place where we can stay permanently. Yad gatva nanivartante. By going to which place, we don't have to change the house any longer. That is my dham. Tad dhama paramam mama. That is my abode, my dear Arjuna. You come to that abode. If one living entity comes to that abode, means that house, means Goloka, then he does not have to change houses repeatedly. But the living entities not able to understand how to get out of this vicious circle, they are repeatedly bound by acting in the three modes of material nature. Sometimes they are getting the body, male body, sometimes they are getting a female body, sometimes they are getting an animal body. In this manner, they are transmigrating from one body to the other. एषो प्रकृति संगेन पुरुषस्य विपर्ययः आसीत् स एव न चिरादीश संगाद् विलीयते. Verse number 55. प्रकृतिर संग वशतः ही पुरुषेर एरूपे विपर्जय, अर्थात स्वरूप ब्रह्म जनित संसार लाभ होइया थाके. As long as the living entity is in association with Maya or the three modes of nature, then this is what is going to be the final outcome. This is what is going to be the outcome. Prakriti Sangavashas, because of one's association with the matter or material nature, one is passing through such a dangerous path of repeated birth and death. Viparjaya means just the opposite. What is opposite? No living entity wants to suffer. No one wants to repeatedly change the houses. Who wants to change houses repeatedly? Nobody. They want to have. That's why so many persons are constructing their own house. Why? Because they don't want to shift from one house to another house. But it is happening. Why? Because it's telling that Prakriti Sanga Vashata, because of the association with the nature. Nature means material nature. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna puts a question. Atha kena prayukto papan acharati purushaha. Who is compelling the living entity to perform sinful actions? Atha kena prayukto? Who is doing it? Living entities, nobody wants to perform sinful activities wantedly. Atha kena prayukto, but who is compelling them? Anichhadapi, they don't have the desire, Varshneya, Hey Krishna. They are not desirous, but baladiva. Even though they don't have the desire to perform sinful action, they are compelled, they are forced by something. What is that? Why? Because the living entity is pure. Living entity is pure. Atma is impure. Is not impure. Is pure. Isn't it? Atma is pure. Nothing can touch. No sin, nothing can touch. We heard that on the subtle body only all these sinful whatever impressions are there in the subtle body, because they cannot touch Atma. Atma is something completely different from this material world. It is spiritual. Nothing can touch. But Arjuna is putting this question, who is compelling this Atma, which is by nature pure, to perform sinful actions? Because it is totally against the nature of Atma. What is the nature of Atma? Shuddha, pure, pavitra, Sachidananda. But it is performing these activities which are not Sachidananda. Why is it so? Then the Lord replies, Kamesho, Krodesho, Kamesha, Krodesho, Rajoguna Samudbhava. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhava. Kama and Krodha. Kama means lust, Krodha means anger. They are an outcome of Rajoguna Samudbhava. Because the living entity is coming in contact with Rajoguna, the mode of passion, because of the mode of passion, living entity is by nature pure. But when we come in contact with Maya, why will we come in contact with Maya? Because of anarthas. So when a living entity comes in contact with the mode of passion, then kamesha, krodesha. There will be kama and krodha. Kama means lust and anger. These are our greatest enemies. Lust and anger are the greatest enemies. Rajoguna samudbhava and mahapapma. One, such things will throw a living entity into performance of greatest sinful action. They are forcing the living entity. Arjuna asked a question, who is forcing a living entity? And Krishna is replying, it is, my dear Arjuna, it is Kama and Krodha that is forcing a living entity to perform sinful actions. Where is Kama and Krodha coming from? Kama, Krodha means lust and anger. Where are they coming from? They are coming from our association with the material nature, mode of passion. Mahapapma, the greatest sins are performed by the kamis, the what do you call, those who are enjoyers, those who have got the enjoying spirit. And due to krodha, one is performing great sinful actions. You see, when one is in anger, one becomes very angry, then he will lose control over himself completely. What he is doing at the time is completely lost. But where is that krodha coming from? Where is that anger coming from? When our lust or when our desires are not fulfilled, then we get anger. Where is lust coming from? Lust is coming from my desire to, my association with the material nature. Therefore, here it is told, Prakriti Shanga Bhashatai, because of our association with the nature of the material nature, Purusher E Viparjoy. The living entities are getting such a result, just the opposite. What is the opposite? A living entity wants to be happy, but he is not getting it. The living entity does not want to engage in sinful activities, but he is forced to engage in sinful activities. Why? Because of kama, because of lust. Arthat, Swarupa Brahma Janita Sansara Labh Hoiya Thake. And what is the cause for that lust? Swarupa Brahma. Misidentification of the self. I have no proper identification of my own. I think I am the body. Because of this, the living entities are undergoing various sufferings. The cause of our kama and krodha is Swarupa Brahma. Swarupa Brahm means, Swarupa Brahm is one of the anarthas. What is the meaning of anartha? Artha means that which is necessity, which is our need. That's called artha. Anartha means opposite of our necessity, means which is not needed, which is useless. That is anartha. We have four anarthas principally, all the living entities. One is Swarupa Brahm. Swarupa Brahm means misidentification of the self. Misidentification of the self. And then second is Asat Trishna. When I have misidentification about my own self, I don't know who I am, I think that I am the body, then Asat Trishna. I will have the desire to attain that which is temporary. Because I have forgotten that I am Atma and my requirement is Paramatma. That is my necessity, I have forgotten. My anartha is that I think that this is what is essential. What? Wife, children, property, car, bungalow, all these things are my necessity. But my necessity is Krishna, I have forgotten. It is because of the misconception of the self. Asat Trishna, false desires. And Hridaya Daurbalya. What is Hrid Daurbalya? The weaknesses of the heart. What is the weakness of the heart? What is the weakness of the heart? We want to attain prestige, false prestige. We want to be worshipped. We want to prove that we are great persons. This is the weakness of the heart, false ego. And aparad. Ultimately, we end up committing great offensive activities. Killing our own fellow beings for no reason. So many persons, in order to being completely controlled by anger due to their unrestricted desire to enjoy, they are killing so many innocent persons. Why? Because of kama and krodha only, which is an outcome of rajoguna. So they are killing so many innocent persons. These Naxalites, Maoists, these persons, what they are doing? Without any cause, without any reason, they are killing innocent people. Women, pregnant, children, they are killing everyone. They don't have any relation with them. They never saw them. But being, controlled by anger, one is performing all these sinful activities. Therefore, here, Swarupa Brahma Janito, Sansar, we get this birth, we get this material world repeatedly. Because of our association with the three modes of material nature. Means, by remaining in the contact of modes of material nature, we cannot come out of it. One may think that, if I go on enjoying, I'll be ultimately fed up with enjoyment and I will go to moksha. It is not possible. Some people think like this, if we eat rasgulla, every day we are eating rasgullas, every day we are eating 5, 10, like that. 20 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, I don't want to eat rasgullas any longer. We get a kind of aversion to it. We think that in this material world also, we enjoy more. The more we enjoy, we will get repulsion towards one point. This is not true. There are certain philosophers who say like that. If you involve in enjoyment, deeply, repeatedly, then you will get aversion to it. Oh, I don't want to. But that is not true. Why? After 3 months, you have aversion to rasgullas, but again, 6 months later, oh, I have not eaten rasgulla for 6 months. I think I should start eating now again. Again, you will, because the root desire to eat is not finished. It's only a temporary aversion that I have got towards rasgullas. In a similar manner, even by repeated engagement in sense gratificatory activities might, it is not correct, but might sometimes bring a kind of aversion to enjoyment, but that is only going to remain for a very, very short span of time. Very soon, we will again want to enjoy those things. Therefore, this is not the way. Engaging in materialistic activities is not the way to get out of the materialistic desires. That is why it is said, Bhagavat bhajana prabhave se sansar achire vilin hoya jai. Only by performing devotion to Supreme Lord, one can come out of such entanglement. One is by coming in contact with three modes of material nature, one will repeatedly get birth, death, sufferings, etc. If one wants to get out of it, then one has to perform devotion. Only through devotion one can get out of the vicious circle. Yamadutas are telling this to Vishnudutas in reply to who is to be punished. What is the process of punishment? Are all the karmis punishable? Yes, all the karmis are punishable because they are interacting with the three modes of material nature and therefore they are bound in this world. They cannot escape suffering. They cannot escape hellish planets. But only way to escape is through Bhagavat Bhajan, through devotion. This is the only means. There is no other way. No other way is there anywhere in the scriptures or anywhere in the process. Nobody, even we don't have any example that one person has, not done devotion, he has done so many sinful activities and he is liberated. No. Even Ajamila, he realized his mistake after this particular incident and then he engaged in devotion. Only after performing devotion, he got purified from all the sinful reactions and then he got liberated, but not otherwise. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Prakriti o Purusher Sanga Vashatai Jiver Erup Bandhan o Moksha Hoya Thake. The root cause of our entanglement in this material world is the lust. The desire of the man and woman is the root cause of bondage in this material world. Prakriti o Purusher Sanga Vashatai. This material, the existence of this material world, the sufferings in this material world, the root cause of all of this is due to the association of man and woman. Nobody can come out of this desire so easily. But it is this desire that is giving repeated birth and death. Kama is such a strongest force that it pulls all the living entities in this material world. Enjoy. The desire to enjoy, the tendency to enjoy is the root cause of all the living entities repeatedly, undergoing suffering. All of us are undergoing suffering. All of us. Why? Because we want to enjoy, the tendency to enjoy, the kama, the lust. And for that purpose, we are repeatedly taking birth in this material world. That is coming out of what? Rajoguna. अर्थात प्रकृतिर संगे बद्ध एवं परमेश्वरेर भजन हेतु जीवेर मुक्ति होइया थाके. Means by associating with nature, material nature, or by trying to becoming an enjoyer, we get repeated birth or we will be in bondage. By performing devotion, one will be liberated. The tendency to enjoy is the cause of our bondage. The tendency to dedicate is the cause of our liberation. In simple words, if we want to become the enjoyers, then we will have to take birth. If we want to dedicate ourselves to Supreme Lord, then we will get liberated. This body belongs to Supreme Lord. The subtle body belongs to Supreme Lord. Therefore, both this body and the subtle body are to be engaged in His service only. Our Master, He has given us 1000 rupees. Go and bring me this. He gave. That money is not mine. That money belongs to my Master. And he has given 1000 rupees and he told that please purchase this from the market and bring it to me. Now I think, oh, I have 1000 rupees. I am the owner of 1000 rupees. Let me enjoy. What will happen? The Master will immediately punish us. You rascal, I have given you to use it for me and you are using it for you. It's not your property, it is my property. I will send you to jail. That is what has happened with us. The Lord has given the body, very nice eyes, beautiful, nice body, hands, legs, everything is proper. He has given us, intelligence, He has given us the mind, the subtle body He gave. Everything He gave. Oh, now I have got beautiful property. I will enjoy. Here is a woman, I will enjoy. Here is money, I will enjoy. Here is a pub, I will enjoy. Here is this, I will enjoy. I will take wine, I will do all these things. The Lord said, I have given you my property for you to engage in my service. And you are doing it for your sake. Okay, you will be put into the bars. You go to this material world. But if we engage it in His service, then the Lord will say, come to me. So, the tendency to enjoy or our association with material nature is the cause of bondage. Association with the Supreme Lord is the cause of liberation. Ayam hi shruti sampannaha Shrila vritta gunalayaha Dhrito vrato mridurdantaha Satyavang mantra vichuchihi Gurvanyatithi vriddhanam Shushurana hankritah Sarvabhuta suhrit Sadhur mitavag anayasu yakaha. এই ব্রাহ্মণ अजामिल प्रथमे शांत ज्ञान संपन्न सत्स्वभाव सदाचार और क्षमादि सद्गुणेर आलय व्रतनिष्ठ कोमलचित्त जितेन्द्रिय सत्यवादी मंत्रज्ञ पवित्र गुरु अग्नि अतिथि ओ वृद्धदिगेर सेवाय रत निरहंकार सर्वभूतेर हितकारी सुहृद साधु मितभाषी एवं असूया शून्य छिलेन. Now the Yamadutas are telling about Ajamila's early life of Ajamila, how he was before. Because why the Yamadutas are telling this? Ajamila was a nice boy, but he could not remain nice all through his life. Already said, right? One cannot perform only good activities all through the life. Ajamila was very nice earlier. So in order to prove that, they are giving an example that how by coming in contact with the three modes of material nature, the living entities who are once upon a time thought to be good and nice, they are not so good now. Isn't it? In this material world also we have an experience. Oh, I thought he was very nice. He is very nice, but he is such a stupid and rascal idiot. I never thought that he will be like this. It's not that he changed. He was nice because at that time he was he was in contact with mode of goodness. But the same person, due to influence of time, due to influence of past karma, When that person comes in contact with mode of passion or ignorance, then the same person will change his colors. So, that is why Prakrite Kriyamanani Gunai Karmani Sarvashah. It is by the mother nature, material nature, the living entities are performing various actions. The living entities are not actually themselves performing action, they are performing by the influence of the three modes of material nature. Because when one takes birth in this material world, he is bound to be under the influence of the laws of nature, isn't it? Now, I throw an apple in the air, it is bound to fall back on the ground, isn't it? Or Newton has invented, no? That apple falls. You cannot put apple in the air. You can tie it and hang it, it's not that, but you cannot put apple in the air because it's against the laws of this earth. You cannot go against the laws of the earth. One has to follow that. You understand? You understand? There are laws of this place. You cannot go beyond above the laws of this thing, or you cannot transgress them. You are bound by that. In a similar manner, this material world there are laws of material nature. We cannot, act independently. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. Ahankareti yamme ahankaram mahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. But a living entity thinks that I am the doer. Why? Ahankara vimudhatma. Forgetful of he being controlled by the three modes of material nature. He is thinking that he is the doer. But actually nobody is the doer. It is the modes of material nature that are influencing a living entity. Then what is our solution? You are telling that we are under the control of three modes of material nature, we are performing sins. How can we, where is the way out? How to escape? Escape is devotion. That is why Ajamila's story. So, the Yamadutas are telling as an example, Ajamila was earlier Shastra Jnana Sampanna. He was knowledgeable in scriptures. He had a very nice conduct. And he had all the qualities like, mercy, forbearance, forgiving others. All these good qualities were there in him. He was performer of vows and penances. He used to take up, vows, and had a very soft heart. He has control over his sense organs. He used to speak truth, and he was fixed in chanting, etc. And pure. He used to serve Guru, the fire, the guests, and old men. He used to serve all of them nicely. The old persons, Guru, fire god, and Atithi means the guests. Whoever used to come, he used to serve all of them so nicely. And he had no ego. He was not arrogant. And he used to be a well-wisher of all the living entities. He used to perform activities for the welfare of everyone. He was very kind. He was sober. And he used to speak very little. And asuya shunyo. He had no jealousy towards anyone. Ajamil had all these good qualities. You see, we see in this material, just I told previously, that we see the same person suddenly changes his colors completely. The so-called nice person becomes very bad. That is why material goodness and material badness, both of them are not permanent. Being materially good is not very great, because it's not going to stay for long. We have to be spiritually good. We have to be following the spiritual path. Then everything will be nice. But being materially good is, we cannot be called as a good person. After few days it will be finished. Our true colors will come out when the interaction or the previous karma, attacks us. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, এই রূপে ধর্ম ও অধর্মাদির স্বরূপ বলিয়া প্রকরণগত আজামিলের দণ্ডযোগ্যত্ব জ্ঞাপনের জন্য তাহার অধর্ম আচরণ বলিতেছেন अहम अयम ही इत्यादि द्वारा. So Yamadutas, after mentioning about dharma and adharma, what is to be done and what is not to be done, what is sin and what is piety, after establishing all these things, now they are giving an example of Ajamila, what he has done for which we are punishing him. While trying to explain that, the Yamadutas started to speak about the past of Ajamila, how he was before. तन्मध्ये अतिशय अनौचित्य अर्थात तादृश अधर्माचरण अजामिलेर पक्षे अनुचित इहा जानाइबार जन्य दुईटी श्लोके ताहार धर्माचरणेर कथा बोलते चाय. You see, the Yamadut Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing that for what he was before, it is totally beyond one's imagination that he would have done like this later. While explaining this, the Yamadutas are talking about all the good qualities of what everyone knows him before. He was such a noble person. He had got such a beautiful qualities of serving everyone without any jealousy, performing, chanting, and taking up vows, and being tolerant, being kind, helpful to others. So they are explaining, the Yamadutas are explaining that whatever dharma he has performed before, it is totally, not fitting Ajamila to perform such an action of killing others or plundering their wealth or giving trouble to others. He was not like that before. He was completely a different person. That is why they are giving this example. First they are explaining what dharmic activities or what religious activities he has performed before. Shila bolite suswabhava. He had a very nice conduct. He was a very nice person before. Vritta, sadachar, always conducting himself, behaving himself nicely in all aspects. Gunaha, kshamadi guna sakala. And he had got the great qualities like forgiving others, respecting others, being tolerant. All these good qualities were there in him. So they are explaining the qualities of Ajamila first. So we'll continue tomorrow. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय. परमाराधितम पतित पावन स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी श्री गुरु महाराज की जय. नित्य लीला प्रविष्टो विष्णुपाद प्रणोन्त स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्तिदयित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय. परमहंस श्री गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय. सच्चिदानंद श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय. श्री श्री रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय. श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. सपरिकर श्री राधा मदन मोहन श्री राधा गोविंद श्री राधा गोपीनाथ जीव की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय। श्री श्री सुखदेव गोस्वामी एवं परीक्षित महाराज की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत श्रवणकारी भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। पिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।